It's such a treat to be here with you again, Abraham. I have so many things going on in my head, I'm not sure where to start. So I'm at a choice point in my life, which of course when I think about it, I'm always at, but it seems more amplified at this moment.
But it isn't, is it? In other words, I'm at this choice place of choosing a thought that feels good or choosing a thought that doesn't, or choosing a thought that feels a little better than that thought or a thought that feels a little worse. In other words, that's the choice. That's where you always are.
Yeah.
That's where you always, 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 always are. It's tricky because, you thought you'd get to say more, didn't you? It's tricky because you're not the first one who sat in this chair today that wanted to figure it all out now for everything down the road. But you don't have to figure out for everything down the road. That's like Jerry and Esther saying to Magellan, well, we're not there yet, but we're going to go to Boston. And after we get to Boston, will you tell us how to get to Buffalo? And Magellan wants to say, but where are you now? And Jerry and Esther would say, well, we're in Tarrytown now, but we're going to go to Boston, and then we're going to go to Buffalo. And Magellan would say, well, let us take you from Tarrytown to Buffalo. And Jerry and Esther would say, no, we want to go from Tarrytown to Boston to Buffalo. And then Magellan would say, well, then let us just take you from Tarrytown to Boston, and once you get to Boston, then we'll figure out how to get to Buffalo. And Jerry and Esther would say, no, we want to know now. And Magellan says, illogical, illogical, illogical. Why are you worrying about a path that you're not standing on the brink of yet? And you say, because I'm just used to worrying about my future paths. I'm used to worrying about things in advance where I have no power.
I don't know if I would use the analogy of a path, though, because it's more like a smorgasbord to me. There are so many choices.
Then
many of which are
what
delicious.
Difference does it make then? If you're eating something that tastes good and it's fueling you and it's satisfying you, what possible difference does it make which of the lovely things you're eating? Why is there some sort of judgment about some hierarchy of perfection? Why not just say, tastes good? Because there are all kinds of other judgments that say, well, I think it tastes good, but so-and-so thinks that that tastes better, and somebody else thinks that that tastes better. And there are people that don't think I should eat that at all. And we say, they don't get to choose, just you. We're trying to bring this back around to help you all realize that we're all, but especially you, are making way, way, way too much of all of this. In other words, it's just this simple process that here I am today, on this joyful path, and as long as the path is joyful, then what difference does it make what the path is?
Now I'm speechless.
That's because our question can't be answered in any way except making you realize that it's good now and getting better. It's good now and getting better.
So,
what's the purpose of life?
Joy.
We hear your words. We hear your words, but we suspect you've got some idea of growth stuck in your craw somewhere.
I do. I'm a teacher. And I feel like I need to be on my leading edge in order to offer the best that I can to the people that I teach.
Well, you need to be on your joyful edge. Because if the purpose of your life is joy, then the purpose of their life is joy too. And you can't teach something that you don't know. So why teach them that growth is the purpose when growth isn't the purpose? Growth is the inevitable result of life experience. But if joy isn't your dominant quest, then you're not in sync with Source. And if you're not in sync with Source, then you cannot enjoy any of the growth that you're upon. Oh, you'll have growth, whether you're in joy or not, because you can't help but expand. But when you realize that the goal is feeling good, and it's got to be feeling good now. This is the big revelation that so many of you are coming to. It's not about feeling good later. We see you. You suffer now so that you can feel good later. The extreme is suffering now, but doing everything that they told me I should do so that in heaven I can feel better. That was a trick, friends. That was a trick to get you to do what they wanted you to do so that they could feel better now. Your guidance system will lead you to feeling good now. And when you do it now, and you show yourself that just with a little adjusting of your thought, you can feel better and better and better and good and good and good, then what happens is, in a matter of a few days, you clean up vibrations on a myriad of subjects, and you just get feeling wholer and surer and loving yourself more and feeling better about life. And then anywhere you go is fun. Once you show yourself how to love yourself in the way your inner being loves you, then you have fun every minute of every day. Until then, it's rough going. Because you're always trying to fulfill some screwy idea for somebody else so that they can love you. And since they're all so different in what they need from you, you just sort of go crazy. You don't see yourself as a pleaser. But you still are. Most of you still are. And we understand that. In other words, when you behave in an appropriate way by someone's standards, and they approve of you and hold you as their object of attention, it feels very, very good. But it feels nowhere near as good as it feels when you hold yourself as your own object of attention and your own eyes of your own inner being are adoring you. And there is far simpler criteria for that. In other words, your inner being will love you unconditionally no matter what. You just have to reach for it, smell for it, listen for it, feel for it, you see.
Good afternoon. I've always believed that most practices have the same common truths throughout them that you can find. And I'm pursuing, along with your tapes, another practice which seems to be at odds. So I'm curious to...
So your first theory must be wrong.
No, I have faith that there is a connection.
Oh, then your second theory must be wrong.
Yes, I just can't find what the...
Why do you need to? Can't there be two good things? Does swordfish really have to be infinitely better than ahi tuna? Or can they both be good?
They seem to be in resistance to each other.
Really?
Yes.
Proceed.
This other contention is that there is a identity, which is all the thoughts and ideas that you get caught up in, which is to say everything that vibrationally is not in match with your natural joy. And then there is a intention which has no attachment, no outcome attached to it. So it's your intention could be freedom, power. And then there's the intended outcome, which is what you specifically are.
You lost us in one place. An intention that you have no interest in the outcome? Maybe intention is the wrong word.
Well, I'm just using the words that are used in this particular
we can see someone
practice.
having no particular interest or outcome in a fleeting thought. But when you use the word intention, it sounds like you care.
You care only in having that general sense, well, as I use an example, freedom and power.
So it is. So your
intention.
intention is more about the essence of how you want to feel.
That's correct.
And
yes.
you're willing to let the universe, in all of its wisdom, bring you the specifics that you are not particularly hung up about.
That's correct. That's very well put.
We would say we agree completely with that. You will actually feel the impulse of which way to go. In other words, you will feel, your inner being will guide you to the path that will suit you best. You see, what happens with most physical beings, because you've been letting yourself be guided by so many others, is that you really believe this, most of you. You really believe that I'll do this thing that doesn't feel good now, and I'll do this thing that doesn't feel good now, and I'll do this thing that doesn't feel good now, and after a while, I'll be in the place that I want to be. And we say, that is impossible. It's got to start mattering how it feels right now, because that's the path you're on, you see. Magellan doesn't say, you're going the wrong direction, you're going the wrong direction, you're going the wrong direction, but no problem, we'll take you there anyway. Magellan keeps saying, well, given where you are now, let's do this. Given where you are, Let's do this. But Magellan never encourages you to go 100 miles in the wrong direction before she turns you around in the right direction. Magellan's trying to get you to turn around now. She's relentless. Jerry Nestor will take a fuel stop that Magellan doesn't know about, and she just never. Jerry will say, shut that broad up, because she doesn't stop. She'll say, please return to the highlighted route. 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 Finally, they just turn her off. They say, give us a break. We know what we're doing. And she says, well, you didn't tell me that you knew what you were doing. You told me you wanted me to guide you, and that's all I'm doing. And that's what your emotions are doing too. Your emotions are guiding you, given who you are and all you've ever said that you want, which you can trust, which you can trust, which you can trust. You can trust. You can trust that your inner being knows who you are. And if you will insist on feeling good, not only are you on your way to where you want to be, but you're there right now, because where you are right now feels good. Do you believe us when we say you're not ever going to get it done?
Yes.
Well, that's most of the battle. Do you believe us when we say you can't get it wrong? Yes. You know why you can't get it wrong? Never get it done. In other words, how could it be wrong if you're not done? Doesn't matter where I am, I'm not done, so how can I be wrong? I can still keep moving toward where I'm wanting to be. So when you discover your power of feeling good, no matter what now, which takes some practice, we agree, but you can get there, now you've soothed everything. And all those 12-step programs and all those religions and all those do this and you'll have this and do this, you'll have this, they all become irrelevant. You then are able to announce to everyone, I'm on a self-guided tour. I have this tour guide in the sky that knows where the best of everything is and is leading me to it, one thought at a time, one comment at a time, one step at a time, just a joyful, 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 joyful path. And then people say, yeah, but what's it for? Where's that path going to lead you? You say, to joy. And they say, yeah, but really, to where? Where are you going to end up? You say, in a joyful place. Don't ever end up. Yeah, but what's all that joy getting you? That's the question they ask. What's all this joy getting me? And we say, there are no words for you. Joy is the ultimate quest. Joy is who you are. It's all for joy. It's all for joy. It's all for joy. You might call your joy, oh, I'm so interested. Or you might call your joy, oh, this is so exciting. Or you might call this joy, oh, that feels so good. Or you might call your joy, oh, this tastes so good. You might call your joy, oh, I love you so much. In other words, you use a lot of different words for this joyous sensation of being connected to source energy. But when you let source pour through you now, and it feels good, then that's the ultimate. And that's what you're always reaching for. And that's why we say the emotional journey can be achieved now. And then everything else falls into place. You say, yeah, but for what? For what? Where am I going? And who will know I've gone? And who will give me the credit for going? And we say, there's no hope for you. Just kidding. As you're just reaching for something that feels relief and finding it, and knowing that you've done it, now you are invincible. Because now you can do it again and 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 do it again. And then there's no place that you cannot go on the emotional scale.
Is that the Abraham two-step?
It must be.
Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed.